Okay, here is my collection of Cyclonus. And I am making this video because I want to have reference of my collection and also to share some of my thoughts about some of these figures. So starting off, as always, here is the original G1 Cyclonus, and this is the Target Master version. I don't know his name. And here is the instruction manual and the original tech spec. You can pause and read that if you want. And his stats. And this is what the new Legacy Cyclonus is based off of, which is the original toy. So it has this darker purple color. And me personally, I'm not interested in that one. If you noticed, I am really going after all of the Hypertune aesthetic. So I'm not interested in the toy version of any of these figures. But for those who do like the toy version design, I mean, the new Legacy Cyclonus is there. So after G1 there was the CHUG, and here is by Hasbro and Takata, but initially Hasbro, under the Generation or Universe line, they had the Cyclonus, which this was really bad, but I still got it and then sold it. I mean, if you just look at it, I mean, it's consistent with a lot of the ways that they produce their products. I mean, the color's off, and I think a lot of that is done intentionally, because later on they released this version, which was the Battle in Space 2-pack, and this Cyclonus definitely looks better than that original first release of Cyclonus. Still not quite perfect, but as always, before that new joint team thing with Hasbro and Takata, who takes pride in making their figures, made a much better version of Cyclonus with the metallic finish, and you can see how the colors are more cartoon accurate. I just kind of want to share this because even though this is an old CHUG figure, this is still really an awesome figure to have, and I really like it. It's just, being a completist, I don't know how this fits in with the other CHUG figures, such as the Galvatron, which that one's not so good. And then after that there was the Combiner Wars, which was not really, which was okay, but I, custom painted this to make it look more cartoon accurate. And then I actually gave, this is another figure I gave away. And during this time I really wanted the Takata Unite Warriors version, but that came in a 5-pack, which I was not willing to buy 5 of them just to have these other 4 I didn't want. So yeah, I passed on it. And then before the War for Cybertron Kingdom Cyclonus, there was the Mastermind Creations did their version of Cyclonus, which is another figure I gave away. And it was okay. There was definitely issues with the head. but yeah, I gave that one away. And then after that, there are the Masterpiece, and I think X-Transbots came out first, which is this is their first release. And you know, like a lot of X-Transbots, there's problems with their engineering design, you know, but at the time I was happy to get this, probably like everyone else, because you know, this fit in really nice with the C.H.U.G, which was also not very well designed and made, particularly the feet. And I was actually really upset when I got this, because you can't see it very well, but his waist is pink, and on some of the samples that were given out to like Bobby Skullface, the arms and legs were also painted this pink color. But this final retail release, I don't know why that they were white. And they know what they're doing, so I can't help but to suspect that that was done deliberately. But more importantly, there's issues with the transformation on this, particularly, you know, having to bend parts, stretch parts, bend parts over parts. And just like TM Review, I also broke one of the connection tabs when you transform it into vehicle, because of the plastic that they use. It's thin, and if you really look at it from an engineering design, that's not a good design. There's a better way to secure this piece to the front instead of making it prone to breakage with these small little clips. But anyways, there was a lot of other issues with this. But like I said, I was still happy to have it at the time, because you know, it did fit in nice with the C.H.U.G, and still waiting for their Galvatron. But then FansToys came out with their version, which obviously looked better than the X-Transbots, particularly the lower legs. But that's FansToys design. I mean, I think Bobby Skullface, you know, describes it as very heroic. It's just a style. Kind of like, you know, fashion design. If you know about that or seen any fashion design illustrations, you can see how they purposely made the legs longer and stuff. So FansToys definitely has their own style, if you want to call it heroic. But you know, that's why this looks different, and which one's better is really up to you, your preference. It's really subjective. But there are some facts. I mean, his legs, based off the cartoon, is a little long. And just want to point out here, FansToys feet, a lot of their figures, they have problems with stability standing. And this is like another one. They always tend to fall because of it. But back to this FansToys, I was also disappointed how these parts were white. Why? Not cartoon accurate. And I don't know if that was done on purpose, so that they can release their metallic version, which when you compare it to their original, you can see the difference. I mean, this one definitely looks better, and it doesn't show up too well, but you can see that there's a slight hue of pink, which is more cartoon accurate. So yeah, it looks better. And I'm a little disappointed because when this came out, I didn't get it because I didn't know what the difference was. They were just posting the same pictures, so that was unfortunate. I had to pay the aftermarket price for this. But moving on, then there is the X-Transbots re-release of their Eligos, and this one definitely looks better. Like a lot of X-Transbots figures, they definitely look really nice. And this is a figure that definitely looks nice. And I think the colors are definitely much more cartoon accurate than FansToys. But it is true, the leg is long. I mean, if you just kind of crop that area, the legs would become a little bit thinner, and you can see how maybe it would look a little bit better. And they could have done that if they wanted to. They just had to have re-engineered this whole lower section, which probably would have made the ship look much slender too. But they didn't do that. And now, more importantly, what differences did they make? Well, the hand is obviously much better than the original hand, but they didn't really change a lot of the engineering stuff, so there's still a lot of issues with having to bend, stretch plastic over plastic, and this area is still a concern. I was transforming it, and I can see a lot of the problems, which are like these tabs. They're thick, probably because of the paint, and so they don't fit in. Like I can't really show you here unless I try to do this, which I guess I will. I gotta just get these other figures situated, but let's see if I can move this up a little bit first. Yeah, well, first of all, there is a way to get clearance to get this out. It just has, like a lot of things, you have to carefully position things before you move them around. And I didn't really want to do this, but you know, I just want to point out these tabs because I want to share some of my solutions around it. So just pointing out, yeah, you see these, that's where it's supposed to go in, and these tabs right here, it does not fit in very smoothly. Unlike some video reviewers I saw, they make it look very easy like that. In order to get it like that, you do have to get like a filer and file it down so it goes in easier. Because there is a problem if you just have it tight and forcing it in there, and then you're going to have to force it out. You might as well just fix that problem by sanding down these tabs. So I'll just fix that later because that's something I wanted to point out. So I was doing that in a lot of areas, and then once I got to the one leg transforming and see how it's the same problems with the original, yeah, I just decided to stop. And I got this because I think it actually looks really good, which is what X-Transbot I think is really good at, making things look good. And like I said, I think it looks the colors look a little bit more cartoon accurate than the FansToys, even though those legs are a little thick. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to their Galvatron to go with the Scourge and Sweeps. So that's my masterpiece. And then all the way down here to the last one, which is the mini masterpiece. And this one's by NewAge. And this is really, really nice. I mean, all you have to do is look at it. look at that paint finish, which is what NewAge is known for. And you know, just the way this looks when you transform it and stuff. This is really a nice figure. And I want to point out that if I could, I would love to get rid of all of these, including Masterpiece and mainline figures, and only have the Legends, because these are really nice. But I'm already heavily invested, so I don't think that's a solution. But yeah, that's what I wanted to share. My collection of Cyclonus.